Hey, what's up, y'all? Exile here. We're going to be covering Etheria Restart. It's closing out its beta. It's been 2 weeks of testing and seeing what characters are good, checking out how systems work, the leveling system, all that good stuff. I'll actually be coming out with a lot of content on this pretty soon. There was a lot of things that I went through over these 2 weeks with this game, just kind of testing out um, testing out how the leveling system worked, testing out PvP, testing out the PvE, the story. So there's a lot of stuff to talk about. Today we're going to be talking about the different animus that you can get and kind of which ones you should focus on, which ones are more beneficial than others. In my opinion, there's a lot of undervalued and certain animus that haven't been like promoted as being as good as they really are. So like we can get into that. But just to kind of start things off, we'll start with the ones that I've actually been leveling because one thing about this game is like you kind of get what you get and you're stuck with that. You have to work with that. Um, I got stuck with some pretty awesome characters, so I've got no complaints at all when it comes down to that. Um, the first one being Messiah. I got really lucky, pulled him in the first 10 pull of his banner. So like I'm super stoked about that. As far as the character, he's actually pretty awesome. When he kills things, he gets invincibility. When he uses his AOE, he gets invincibility. His AOE hits like a truck. Um, Oftentimes, he'll open up with that, and the opposing team or the opposing PVE team or PvP team will either be at half health or wiped out. So like he really hits hard with that. His secondary ability though, holy crap! I mean, if they didn't die from the first ability, the second ability is going to take him out, and when that happens, he's going to get invincibility again. So like he's a really strong character. I mean, as you can see, I maxed him out. He's 6 stars. Uh, I've got no complaints when it comes down to this dude. Like he's been the crux of my team. Um, and yeah, that's really all I've got to say about it. Next one I want to talk about though is Kraken. I haven't built him out completely, but I do have him set up. I'll be showing some gameplay of that later. What I can say about this dude is like when it comes down to PvP, this dude's everywhere. And he's usually set up in a speed build so that he goes first because the first thing that he's opening up with is his CC. He's going to freeze everybody. Well, most of the time it freezes like 3 people, one person will be left over. But it shuts people down. Like this CC is absolutely amazing, and there's not much more I can really say about it. Like, he's actually really good for just controlling the other team and making sure that they're shut down and your team isn't. So, like I said, most of the time he's set up for speed comps. As you can see, I've been pumping him on speed as well because like if he's not going first, that's where you're going to run into a problem. If somebody can take him out before he gets his CC off, that's where your team comp will fall apart if you're running with him. Next person is Heinrich. He's just an all around good unit. His AOE is really good. He drops a debuff on the opposing team that makes it so that they can't get buffs. His secondary ability is kind of like a triple shot, and it does some decent damage. Has really decent crit rate, and like as far as just a solid damage unit, like he fits that perfectly. Uh, Lily, on the other hand, is not going to be your typical damage unit. She's a buffer, and the buff that she drops down is really good. You'll get extra attacks out of it. She also buffs speed. Um, she lowers the cooldown on whoever she's teamed up with, and I think she picks that based off of like their attack or their HP, or I don't know exactly like I don't know how it's built out like that, but she always targets my Messiah, which means he's attacking twice from time to time when she attacks, and he's using his AOE ability twice, which as I've already discussed, like the first time it wrecks people. Second time, it really hurts. So, I mean, she's been pivotal to my build out. But yeah, so I'm definitely rolling with her. And I hope that I'm lucky enough to pull her in live because she's an incredibly strong unit just based off of the buffs. Ling Lo is a solid healer, and that's really all I've got to say about her. Um, she's good. She also puts a buff on you that makes you immune to debuffs, I think, and it's useful. The really cool thing about her though is that if we get the same events that we got during the beta when we go live, um, you can get a free unit of her. So like either you get lucky and you pull her, or you finish the 7 day event and you can get her that way. Freya, Freya is a good unit. Um, I wouldn't focus on pulling for her necessarily. The cool thing about her banner is that Kraken's on it, so like it's a pretty good way to get Kraken and some other good SRs. Um, but as far as she's concerned, I really don't focus on using her too much. But I mean, I could see her being useful. She's got a decent buff. Um, her attack buff is actually pretty ridiculous. You get a good chunk of attack from her. Her debuff is pretty cool. Like it gives you some healing, but it's not like game breaking. It's like it's not even gonna let you survive. We'll put it that way. It's not all that great, but she's all right. I probably could have built her better too. Like honestly, it could just be the way that I have her built. That I focused on other characters. So like I can see her being useful. The main thing that I kind of don't like about her is that she's not a light or dark unit, which leaves her vulnerable to let's see, it leaves her vulnerable to reason. So reason characters will wreck her. But I mean, is she a bad character? She's not bad by any means. I think she can be built out to be pretty strong. Um, Rosa, this is the one I used my 40 selector on, and I kind of wish I would have pulled for Tiamat rather than her. Not yeah, pulled for Tiamat rather than her. Um, I do like her for my team comp. Don't get me wrong, and I'll get into explaining why that is a little bit later. But as far as like just her standalone, like she has to be built for crit. Um, and she doesn't have like a secondary ability. Her secondary ability is a passive. So like that's really all there is to her. Her first ability is like it's a AOE, it hits everybody, has a high crit chance. It puts a speed debuff on the opposing team and it increases your crit rate, which is a great thing. Um, but like standalone, would I use my 40 selector on her? No, I wouldn't. I would go with Tiamat. Um, but with my current team comp, she actually works out very nicely. And it's because of her ability to do multiple attacks. When other teammates crit on their normal attack, if there's a specific debuff that she puts on with her AoE, if that's on the target, she will then attack. So you'll have your teammate attack, it crits, she attacks. Now the cool thing about this is that it procs with the extra attacks that you get from the Lily special ability. So in this case, Lily drops her twin trick onto Messiah. Messiah now has the chance to attack twice when Lily attacks. When those attacks that he does crit, they actually proc Rosa. So now we have this chain of extra hits going that can help you clear a round. It can win you a PvP match that maybe necessarily might not necessarily win, but you get lucky and you start chaining attacks like that, and you'd be surprised at how quick the other team drops. So Is it completely RNG? Yes. Do I despise that? Yes. But I do think it's really freaking cool to set up a team match like that, or a team comp like that. Um, that's really all I got to say about Rosa. Would I pick her again? No, I wouldn't. But I do like the character. I like the way that you can uniquely set up multiple chain attacks like that. It's really cool. Moving on. Leanne, you get her for free. Um, she's an okay DPS. Like I don't have anything negative to say about this character, but I really don't have anything positive to say about this character either. It's just kind of she's there. But it could be because I have other SSRs. I've heard good things about Rahu. Never used her myself. Tsukiyomi, I've never even heard good things about this character. I definitely haven't used her. I mean, when I have more materials to build her out, maybe I'll give it a try and see how she works. But honestly, I haven't used her. Dorothy, Dorothy is a free healer that you get. She works. Like she heals good. I really have no I have no complaints about this character. If you need a healer, like she'll do. She'll suffice. The fact that only one of her heals is an AoE heal is kind of a problem. I mean, compared to Ling Lo, who has both AoE heals. But aside from that, like I've got no complaints. Like, you get this character for free. You get a free healer. There's nothing to complain about there. Gray, Gray is actually uh really Gray is actually really good. He has a cool little setup where he buffs his crit rate and then goes into another turn immediately and can drop the opponent's defense. Like that's really nice. And I mean, I could see if you roll a crit, like you could get 100% crit real easy with this. And on top of that, like the chance to drop people's defense is nice. And then dropping somebody's defense by 60%, that just opens you up for your other damage dealers. So like he can fit into comps pretty easily. And I mean, once again, you get them for free. I don't see a problem with actually building them out a little bit. Let's see. Rin the Unbowed. I've used this character a bit. She got switched out really quick. But, like, she's not bad. But she's also not better than some of the other characters that you could roll with. In fact, I dare say that I would take Gray over Rin as far as, like, if I had to choose. Like, I had one more slot on the team, and it was between these two, I would choose Gray rather than Rin. A lot of these other characters I haven't used, and I haven't really gone up against in PvP either. I've seen people roll with Sanya for support um, of their Tiamat, but that's about it. Um, I've heard people say that Valerian is supposed to be really good. I've never gotten into using her. I see that she has invincibility. That seems like it could be pretty useful because I know as far as like Messiah is concerned, his invincibility has saved me so many times that I lost count. His invincibility is really overpowered in this game. I dare say invincibility is overpowered anywhere, but let's not get into that. Um, Marvel, I have lost so many PvP matches that I shouldn't have. I felt that I shouldn't have due to this dude. He is a beast. I um, I absolutely love this character. When we go live, if I get him, I'm building him out just because he is super useful. He basically makes it so that your team goes before the other team right off the bat. Like if you build him out to go first, if you build him speed based, uh, he just he makes his first ability just immediately takes away your opponent's turn meter and bumps all of your team up front. And then like if you're also partner him up with like a CC character like Kraken, like they're just never moving. And you would think that like a debuff character like this wouldn't hit hard, but I've seen him absolutely wreck my team before. So no, he does some decent damage too. So like I mean he's definitely an MVP character to kind of shoot for or at least cheer for if you get. Um, and because he's an SSR, he's actually easier to upgrade. But we'll get into that in another video because that's just it's too much to kind of go into that right now. Um, anyways, that about covers it. Most of these other Animus I have not used and have no real desire to use based off of what I've seen from their kits. Um, when I've read out like what they do, it just didn't seem too great to me. It didn't seem like it'd be able to compete with a team where they're running Marvel or Kraken or Tiamat. I wish I had Tiamat to show on here because she's an absolute beast of a character, but I was not lucky enough to pull her. And after today, it's going to be about 2 weeks before we go live, so like we'll see in 2 weeks how good she is. I'll end up probably making a video about that. But enough rambling. Hope you liked what you saw. If you did, please hit the like and subscribe button. It would help me out immensely. Aside from that, thank you for watching. Peace out.